Hi, I'm Eric Ciampoli of ECIC Consulting. I'll be one of the panelists for the ITAC and the Manufacturing and Industrial Innovation Council's upcoming town hall on June 9th, Reducing Risk when Resuming Operations. In this town hall, we will discuss various topics to help New York City manufacturers and industrial companies prepare to resume their operations. As a precursor to the town hall event, we want to share today a bit more about one topic that we expect to be part of our town hall conversation: building preparations. And remember, after viewing this short 3-minute video, please remember to register for the town hall if you haven't done so already. Please submit any questions you have on this topic or other topics related to reopening your business. You can find the registration link and a link to submit questions on the webpage you used to access this video. So I'd like to start. First off, this information we're about to discuss is based on some preliminary guidelines that have recently been released by the CDC. It is not intended to serve as an exact instruction for what to do with your facility or how to do it. Please take into consideration the rapidly changing guidelines and information as we learn more about this virus. So be sure to check with the latest guidance provided by the CDC before making any decisions on what you should or shouldn't do in your facility. So now I would like to talk about building preparations and some things that you should consider for your operation. One of them being ventilation and airflow across the facility. Another, how much air is recirculated across your facility and back into the facility. And locations of return air registers and supply air registers, as well as replacement and ongoing maintenance for filtration systems within that ventilation system. So one of the things to consider is, how is the air flowing across your facility? Where does it come from and where does it go? Now keep in mind, when someone upstream, just like in a river, if they sneeze, where does it go? It goes towards the return air side. So we need to keep in consideration where those return registers are relative to where our work operations are. In some cases, people will spend a significant amount of time in that specific location, and we need to consider how much viral load that they'll be exposed to. So we want to consider, where's the air coming from and where is it going? So for example, if you have a return register on one side of the building and a supply on the other side of the building, you need to consider anything that happens on the supply side will find its way to the return register. And everyone along that path will be exposed to any of the viral load that is emitted upstream. We want to consider where those things are and how long people are in that viral stream. So how much air is recirculated? In many buildings, they're typically designed for 3 to 4 air changes per hour. Well, we need to start considering higher levels of filtration like hospitals normally do. 10, 15, maybe even 20. But not every facility is going to have that option to do so due to the prohibitive expense. So one thing that we can do is look at where the return registers are and limiting the amount of air distance travel. So we could take one return air vent and maybe extend it out across the facility on that same trunk to pick up maybe 4 or maybe even more locations, so that at least if someone at the far end of the facility does have the virus, it will not travel as far or as in high of concentration across the entire facility. Also, the location of these return air registers is very important. Please do not put workbenches and operations directly in front of your main air handling unit. That's where all the air ends up, where that return air vent is. Separate them to the side or relocate them to the other end of the facility or another area that may be safer and less exposure. Also is replacement and monitoring of these air filtration systems. Normally our filters get changed a couple times a year. We would probably recommend that you change these maybe every few days depending on how much dust is in them, because the filters themselves can only hold so much media. Once they get to their max, they will start to emit, or product will start to bypass and flow through this filtration system. So we want to keep that in mind and make sure we keep constant maintenance on those return air filtrations so that we're not recontaminating the return air that comes back into the system. So please submit all of your questions online and relationship to ventilation systems, as well as facility layout and floor plans. And I hope to have a great conversation about these specific issues and seeing what you guys are thinking and what are some of the concerns that you have in your production facility. Thank you.